Is my channel going to just disappear on December 10th?
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, Movie Pass,
Google,
eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur. If this is your first time here and you happen to like this video, please consider subscribing and ringing that bell for notifications. I know what the title of the video says. Yes, you might consider the title be a little clickbaity. However, the title is appropriate, and subscribing and commenting and liking and ringing the bell is way more important than ever before. Not just to me, but to other YouTube creators. If this is for any YouTube creator you like, I'm just talking about this for me and because this is important. So here's the thing. I don't talk money on YouTube very often because here's the thing. Money is kind of a sensitive issue. I mean, when we hang out with our friends, we like to talk about sports or movies or video games. Sometimes we like a friendly political debate. Sometimes we talk about the trips we're going to plan. A lot of people talk about their kids. Dear God, do they talk about their kids? Not that I'm going to say, not that that's a bad thing, because kids are awesome sometimes. However, one thing we rarely talk about is money. Frankly, I've kind of known in my life that the people who talk about money the most are the people who are filthy rich, but ironically very insecure, even though they have all this wealth. But nothing ruins a conversation or sours it more than someone coming into the room and saying, hey, I make this much money a month doing this. Because, I mean, it's only going to have one of two outcomes. Either you're going to make less money than the person you're telling that to, which, if you know that, why would you bring it up? It makes you look foolish, like, what are you bragging about? But then, if you make more money, you're coming off as bragging. And no one wants to be around that kind of person, not for very long, anyway. So, I do not talk about my YouTube earnings on this channel. That said, they are substantial. And for other UberTuber creators out there, I know what some of them make. And it's substantial. It's substantial enough that for many of us, we actually make our primary living doing this. And we never thought we could do that. I mean, I certainly feel blessed to be able to make money doing this. But you're not here to hear me talk about that. You're here to hear me talk about Uber, Lyft, apps, maybe the streaming wars. Occasionally a video game, although those videos get the least amount of views, so I kind of don't do that as much. However, if you have a YouTube channel where you're thinking of starting one, beware, because YouTube now says they can delete your account if you're not commercially viable, and you read a headline like that, and what the heck are you supposed to think? Especially if you're doing this. So let's look at this. YouTube's new terms of service have some users and content creators very worried that the company could delete their account. In the section titled Account Suspension and Termination with the subheader Terminations by YouTube for Service Changes, the site's new terms, which are set to take effect on December 10th, adds the following. YouTube may terminate your access or your Google account's access to all or part of the service if YouTube believes in its sole discretion that provision of the service to you is no longer commercially viable. In its most basic terms, if YouTube isn't making money off you, the company can delete your account. The platform's current terms of service do not include this language. And YouTube is updating their terms of service on 10th of December 2019. It presents an awful possibility for the future of creators on the platform. It seems to be able to terminate your channel if you are no longer commercially viable. Last week, YouTube started sending an email to users notifying them about the site's new terms of service. In its email, YouTube summarizes the update as a way to make its terms clearer and easier to understand, but of course it doesn't. If anything, that makes it far more confusing than it was before. So as written, these broad terms give YouTube the power to delete a creator's account if they upload or live stream video that, for example, doesn't pull enough advertising revenue. YouTubers aren't in the clear either. YouTube viewers aren't in the clear either. Notice the terms are worded to cover anyone who has an account, not just its content creators. The language used can mean that a user who looks at lots of content but doesn't necessarily monetize can also have their account removed. So all of you guys who are watching this video with ad blocker, yeah, get rid of that thing and subscribe to YouTube Premium. That's the only way you're safe. I'm being a little facetious. It would actually help quite a bit, but you shouldn't be forced to do that. Just let you know I'm on your side on that one. So here's Christian Markle said YouTube has new terms of service on December 10th. This basically says that if channels don't make enough money, they will possibly terminate them. Looks like I fought to the very end, but now I may be close to losing my livelihood, losing my passion, my audience. And yeah, it's so vague. Because, yeah, they just mentioned that you're not profitable. Now, first of all, if you're like a small-time creator, like I know a lot of people in the rideshare community who are just getting started at this. And they've got like maybe a few hundred subscribers or a couple thousand subscribers. And look, you should not feel ashamed of that. You got to start somewhere. And the fact that you can have a couple thousand people say, hey, I want to watch your content. I like you. I'm subscribing to you. Feel proud about that. Take pride in that. But just know, it might not be enough for YouTube. Heck, I mean, here's the thing. I make pretty good money on YouTube. And when I look at like what other people make on YouTube, heck, what some of my other fellow creators make on YouTube, am I really profitable for YouTube? I mean, YouTube is a money-losing machine. People are uploading thousands of hours of content every minute. I kind of figured at some point, yes, that something would have to give. You can't host this content forever. But what gets removed at that point? I mean, obviously, copyright infringement stuff, that's probably the first thing to go. But what about a video that has been on the site for 10 years? It has over 100 million views. But now it brings in a couple hundred a week. Is that channel with that video not profitable? So does that video get removed? What if you're like growing or you're trying to grow your channel and you're making some money, but the money that's coming in doesn't justify the money that's going out to host your videos? Do you get deleted at that point? Or what if you're someone controversial, like say Tim Pool or The Quartering, or that queer kid stuff show? These are shows that are these channels are consistently being demonetized. So in that situation, you've got thousands upon thousands of subscribers. You get hundreds of thousands of views per month, but you're not bringing in the money that YouTube would like because you're getting demonetized all the time. Does that mean someone with like a couple 100,000 subscribers, but who makes videos and content that consistently gets demonetized because they talk about sensitive things like politics, are they going to have their channels deleted? Like, this is scary. This is just way, way too vague. And it's so vague that it has renewed calls that maybe YouTube has way too much control over their creators and we should unionize. So this is what Screen Rant has to say. YouTube creators have renewed calls to unionize on the platform after the company instituted new terms of service policies that will go into effect on December 10th and give the service an incredibly large and vague amount of power over the videos that will be allowed on the site. YouTube creators struggling with YouTube's ever-shifting policies isn't anything new in content creation, as it has been an ongoing battle for years, often involving unannounced changes to the algorithm YouTube uses to promote videos or how the company defines videos that will eventually be flagged for demonetization. And yeah, they go into that. So here's the thing. YouTube has since clarified, since this went up, that there wouldn't be any changes to the way products work or how data is collected or processed. Instead, the biggest change comes to how YouTube can terminate access to the platform, which used to require the company to reasonably believe it had cause to do so, but now has sole discretion, which will essentially bring the policy in line with the rest of the platform, which remains largely inscrutable for content creators trying to make a living on it. The end result has been YouTube content creators renewing calls for an Uber union, including some major players in the content creation game. Like here's American Johnson saying, you better make money for us, Tube. This is such a big deal. Team YouTube is so clearly the enemy of creators. Time to get serious about unionizing. Now, here's where I get a little conflicted about this. How should I put this? YouTube is a private company. They can do whatever they want, and frankly, they're not obligated to host your videos. They're not obligated to host my videos. Don't be too surprised if this video gets taken down by YouTube, by the way. But here's the thing. I do feel, and this shows in my Uber and Lyft coverage and Postmates is all that if you are providing a service to people that allows them to make money, and maybe even a substantial amount of money, there should be a recourse if someone loses that livelihood. I don't believe people should just be allowed to lose their living just because a company says so. There needs to be a recourse. I don't think a union is going to solve that. In fact, a union might actually make things a little worse, because the union says you pretty much got to pay everyone an equal amount of money, but not everyone's videos are equal. For example, my videos do not get as much views as Dustin's, but because we both bring in viewers under a unionization, should I make as much money as Dustin? Heck no, as he would say. Like, he would say, oh, that is a negative ghostwriter, and I would agree. But we need something to protect the creators, and not just me, not just him, anyone. Absolutely everyone is potentially affected by this. And this is scary. Now, does anyone else know? So here's the thing. With so much of content creation beginning to be understood as a burgeoning profession and a valuable asset to the companies that play host to it, it only makes sense that YouTube will want to retain its biggest stars. With so many of them feeling mistreated and policies that are pushing them towards unionizing and attempting to establish some semblance of transparency, it seems like the best move forward for YouTube would be to circumvent any controversy and seriously change how it treats the many professionals that are making it money with their hard work. I agree. You don't want an 85 on your hands, Uber. Uber. See how often I talk about Uber. You don't want an 85 on your hands, YouTube. Uber and Lyft thought that they could mistreat drivers forever, that they wouldn't actually get the law involved in. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. So, yeah, this is a little scary. A little nerve-wracking, not going to lie. So, hey, share this video with people. Like, share, comment, get it trending, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook. If you know people who have a YouTube channel, share it with them. Let them know that this is a problem. Let them know what might be coming. We need to be well informed about what's going on with this. I'm going to keep an eye on this. And this is going to affect not just me, but just everyone that I know who does this for even just a little bit of money. It's very scary, very sad. And it kind of goes to show, like, you know, someone like on a live stream on Sunday said, like, hey, I'll take YouTube over Uber. And I like kind of commented, well, YouTube doesn't treat us that much better. That was before I read this. So, yeah. So anyway, that's where we're going to end this one. What do you folks think? Are you concerned about this? Do you think YouTube has a right to do this? Do you think they don't have a right to do this? What would your solution be as a compromise for the creators and the company? Because again, the company is not obligated to host our content, but we make our content for a living, and it's not fair that it can just be taken away at any point as well. I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase that you make. If you want more content from me, check out Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow YouTube creators, because some of them are on there, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.